Jessica Bird, Katie Fairbanks, Maddie Scott, MCAT, Nancy Bertel. In 206, we have Commissioner Joe Meyer and Vero. We have Allison France, Carrie Powers, Annie Cathy, Chris Lounsbury, Vinnie Pavlich, and Hughes, and Jason Hauser joined us.
Okay, thank you. Any public comment on items not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll roll in the consent agenda. Is there anything you would like to discuss further? I guess one question I would just put out here for anyone who's wondering, some might see us approving the Missoula County Public Schools budgets and wonder, well, we've gone to great pains to make the case that we are separate from the school district. So why is it that we're approving their budgets? This sounds like a CAO.
Well, it could be a CAO question, although we do have Jessica from the superintendent's office on. Primarily, the school boards do all of that, but because we are the ones who produce the tax bills, they come here simply so that they can get onto the tax rolls, for lack of a better term. But Jessica's also on and could explain in much better detail than I.
Jessica, is there anything that you would like to add to this item that's probably pretty important to your world?
It is important to my world, for sure. No, that's pretty much the main reason the commissioners are a part of the budget, process and signing off on it. The schools at their level the boards have already approved, and OPI has received all of the information as far as the dollar amounts in the mills. You guys are just the final step in the whole process.
So if we weren't to do it, then what would happen?
Well, then you'd have an uprising.
Yeah.
And
so you should think of this in those realms, similar to a few places like the library and others, where really it is more perfunctory that you have to do this. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the schools do control their budgets, and we would statutorily have to levy these, even if the commission said no.
So it is not really in our decision space to say, oh, the schools are levying too much, so we're going to cut the budget. So,
Yeah,
So why is this? It's just because
it is a relic in state law.
A relic.
Yeah, but as I
Got
say,
it.
we're because we are
basically an acknowledgement of the mills and the numbers.
it's because we print the tax bills, and so there's this piece in there where we have to acknowledge that we've received what they have submitted to the state, so that we can actually collect the money on it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you, Jessica. And I
You're
would,
welcome.
with that, I'm glad you brought this up. And I move to approve the consent agenda.
I will second that. Any further discussion on the consent agenda or public comment? Jason, are you here for an item in particular? You're just here observing.
I'm
Slow day.
trying to get in touch with things here.
Well, this is the place to get in touch.
Just watching civics in action.
Okay.
It's exciting. It's a beautiful Thursday morning.
Seeing no public comment, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so ends the consent agenda. We have one action item today related to the Johnson Street Temporary Emergency Shelter. Ann Hughes.
Hi, I am bringing to you today the interlocal and asking you to approve and adopt the interlocal between the city and the county. This just demonstrates the county's commitment to fund half of the J Street temporary shelter over the next year. And as you adopted in your budget, this item was contingent on remittance from the TIF districts in the city, which is approved and a thing. So it's for the amount of $909,862, if I'm not mistaken, and we will provide that in 2 chunks over the next year between now and I think April is when the second payment is due for the city. The city has its own contract for the operation of the Johnson Street shelter, and so they negotiate that contract directly with the Poverello Center themselves. So this just simplifies it so that we're not also in contract with the POV. So the city just manages that arrangement more directly.
Are there any county-only property tax dollars that goes towards this effort?
No, this is, as again, it's a remittance from the TIF districts inside the city limits.
Yes.
Thank you.
So again, this does not reflect any tax increase to cover this amount this year. Do we
Is there
need
anything I'm missing that you wanted me to hit?
Just clarify, you did, but it's just this fiscal year. It's not for the 2 years.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I appreciate that. Yeah, so the city does have an operational agreement with the POV for the next 2 years, but that agreement is contingent on budget for FY '26. So it's, the operational agreement is for 2 years, but it won't be authorized and renewed in FY '26 unless they have budget authority to do that.
And this is the funding for this 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So our interlocal is just for 1 year.
got it. Okay.
So in terms of how the money flows, will we, in essence, be cutting a check to the city?
Yes, yeah, although in this case, the money will come from the city to Missoula County from the
And then we-
remittance from the the urban renewal districts, and then we will pay that back out to the city in 2 chunks as Ann described.
All right. Any other questions on this?
I'm sorry, it was 2 chunks? I thought it was 1 chunk, but the agreement was for 2 years.
The city's agreement with the POV is for 2 years. The city has funding for the POV for 1 year. Our agreement is with the city for 1 year, and we will pay out as per that agreement in 2 installments.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, any questions? Anyone from the media on the line who would like to ask anything? Apparently not. Okay,
I moved to, did I already do that? I moved to approve the interlocal agreement.
second that. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
I believe we do have Katie Fairbanks on. I think I saw her jump on. So Katie, if anything comes up and you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Great, thank you.
That's all we have for admin today.
okay, that is all we have for admin. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will see you at some other point.
Great day.
Bye.